So listen, all right? Listen up. Listen. Hey, listen!
Look here. Look here! Look, listen!
There are a lot of different groups who are broadly culpable in the planet dying. First up, we've got the bourgeois class, the bougies, the boogies, the booglies. This includes basically all uber wealthy people, capital owners above a certain threshold of power, and politicians. These are the people who actually run and guide our society, okay? These motherfuckers up here. Then we have the fucking magatards. Then we've got, how do I draw smug, intellectually deficient liberals? Can I draw Elon Musk? I'm just going to draw a rocket. We've got them, okay? And then finally, on the far end of the spectrum, okay? We've got the doomers. There's the doomer, okay? Listen, this is it. These are the 4 horsemen of the end of the world. These are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And all of these people stand in the way of us dealing with climate change. First of all, these people, 100% on them. When the world burns, they will be the first ones tossed into the scalding Pacific. These are the fucking ones on top. These are oil executives, coal executives, and politicians who are bought by either, who knowingly perpetuate false information designed to keep the public complicit in the destruction of the planet. These people are malicious, they are knowing and malicious. They have the intelligence and the political capital necessary to understand what they are doing, and they are doing what they are doing in spite of that. These people, I prescribe them the guillotine in a video game. Now, in the immortal words of Karl Marx, who wrote capital letters, people will do stuff that benefits them. That's what Karl Marx said. Marl Karks. So, no amount of fucking motivational speeching, no fucking fancy pants UN speech is going to change the perspective of these people. They're not. They already know what they're doing. They've bought in. They're committed to being pieces of shit. The only thing you can really do is make it so that it is no longer in their material interest to continue being subhuman pieces of shit. They're not misinformed. They're just bad people. So what you need to do is you have to cultivate a political climate where it is politically unfavorable, where it is a bad idea to continue to propagate that propaganda, you know? So you can't directly address these people. You can address them in like the hey, you, fuck you sense, but you can't appeal to them. Then you have these fucking people. Have you ever been, by the way, on MAGA Twitter? Hold on. If you ever go over here, you will see some shit, okay? This is where you experience ego death. Hashtag Wake Up America. Hashtag impeachment sham. Hashtag Trump 2020. Hashtag fake whistleblower. Hashtag China. Hashtag witch hunt. Hashtag fake outrage. Hashtag CAG. The point that I'm getting at laboriously is that people, Republicans are subhuman. And I mean that in every sense of the word. I mean that if you, I'm no surgeon myself, but I know this. And there are studies on this, by the way. I'm not just rattling this off. If you actually do an autopsy of a Republican, you will actually find distinct physiological distinctions between their body and those of a human being. The organs are wilted. The blood is of a sickly color. The skin is atonal beyond the first couple layers, like almost as though a vampire, someone painted on, like spray tanned. There's deeply wrong. Now the skull shape, folks. Don't even get me started on the skull shape of the Republican. The point I'm getting at is these people are difficult to reach, okay? So how do you reach these fucking people? How do you do it? Tell me how you do it. So there are 2 basic routes, okay? You appeal to the commoner, or you appeal to righteous indignation, okay? So in one route, over here, okay, you can say, here, watch this. I'll do a little mini speech. Watch this, okay? Here, watch this. Watch this. Watch here, watch this. Watch this, okay? That's one way to appeal, okay? You go for that common populist Dixie charm right there, and you do your absolute best to appeal to Americana in a way that like calls out the people who are responsible, okay? And alternatively, another way that you can go about this is to appeal to the more conspiratorial elements of the MAGA crowd. And that one, by the way, is much easier because this QAnon shit blew up enough that people are really receptive to this kind of stuff. And this one's really fucking simple. Literally, all you have to do is pretend to be Alex Jones. We've got these nasty, pedophile fucks up there in Washington. We've got these big money, deep state execs. That is the other good way you sell them on this shit. I'm drawing the Illuminati. The best way to change people's minds is to leave them with information contrary to that which they already possess, and then to fucking dip. Literally just dip. These people, the porkies over here, know there's climate change and don't want to do anything about it. These people, the MAGA-tards, don't know there's climate change and don't want anything to do about it. These people know there's climate change but don't do anything meaningful to stop it. They are nominally against climate change, okay? And these are fucking liberals. These are the people who will argue about budgets and deficits when talking about whether or not it's feasible to prevent the end of the world. These are the people who will hand wave and suggest that sometime in the near future, oh, hey, ingenuity will take care of it. We don't need to worry too hard. The libs, my friends. The fucking libs. The fucking libs! They can't keep getting away with it.
We will not let you get away with this.
These are the people who say climate change is bad, who recognize it exists. However, they do nothing to meaningfully address it. They hem and haw about timetables and budgets. These are those people, okay? And if you're calling out these people, the best thing you can do, by far, easily, is to call them dumb fucks. The thing is here, these people, as we've acknowledged prior, are subhuman, and you can only appeal to them by hitting them like on strong emotional points, okay? The problem is, these people already think they're doing everything they can to better the world. They think that process is defined by incremental change and by approving slight increases to R&D teams who are trying to uncover some nonsense incremental bullshit like this, okay? These people can't really be reached with these same broad emotional talking points because they already think they're in the emotional right. So if you're talking to them, all you can really do is hammer home that it's not fucking working, okay? Hey, liberal. Hello, liberal. Hey, listen up. Hey, how you doing? Climate change is pretty bad, huh? That's pretty much all you can do with these people. And I lumped in a lot, like, broadly. But basically, what are we doing? You know what? Here's a fucking chai tea. And the doomers just think the world is going to end no matter what, and there's nothing we can do. These people's minds can't really be changed. And also, there aren't that many of these people. If their mind is going to be changed, it's because they started getting on medication, not because they heard a good argument. And there we have it. What did Greta's argument sound like most? It mostly sounded like this one to me. Greta's argument sounded like it was aimed at people who know that climate change exists, but are unwilling to do anything to stop it. The problem is, nothing changes until these people do. So to my mind, if we want to deal with climate change, this is what we have to do. I think that by far, these rhetorical approaches are the ones that are most underutilized and most potentially efficacious. Because as long as a substantial chunk of the voting base in this country is utterly convinced that that global climate change is a libtard myth, these people are untouchable right here. Because they have a voter base that will live and die to protect their lies. Do what needs to be done to change people's minds. Easy. Guys, say it with me. Say it the fuck with me. Fascists don't care about the... Fascies do not care. They don't care about the truth. Not in the sense that they're ignorant. They know, they just don't care if they're right or wrong. That's all I have to say. Would I eat poop? I would eat up to a moderate amount of poop to prevent the end of the world, okay? Up to a moderate amount, but not too much.
How dare you!